welcome to the Sixers break room. It's like 2 a.m. right now. I was super busy today. I had an AAU tournament to coach. Then it was my boy's 30th birthday. But I wanted to make sure that I recorded some content so I could get it to you, the people who want the content. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a breakdown of the Brooklyn Nets getting a win on the road against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are crumbling before our eyes. I'm going to focus on them in another video, but in this video, I want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. A lot of people have been in my comment section talking about how dangerous the Brooklyn Nets are, and I agree that the Brooklyn Nets are dangerous, but I believe they're also a little bit shaky. I'm going to be talking about both why I think they're dangerous and can make a run, and why I think they can actually have a really hard time and possibly even lose in the first round of the playoffs. Let's take a look at this first clip here, and we are going to be looking at one of the few times the Brooklyn Nets run a set for one of their stars. So you get the swing to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is going to catch it here in the slot. You are going to have this player here. Oh yeah, people, we got the markups now. You're going to have Bruce Brown, who's going to run across, and he's going to set this little pin down screen. Now, someone in my comment section asked me to describe what a pin down screen is. A pin down screen is just a screen down, hence the name pin down, to open up a shooter. And you're going to see Kevin Durant coming off of a pin down screen. If you are not glued to his body, trailing this screen, it's a wide open shot. Now, in this situation right here, what PJ Tucker should be doing is PJ Tucker should be staying glued to Kevin Durant and going over the top of this screen, right? He needs to be locking and following is what I call it. Other coaches might call it different things, but he wants to lock and follow and go over the top of this screen, staying glued to Kevin Durant. That would force Kevin Durant to have to catch the ball in this mid-post area and curl it to the basket, where you have Bam Adebayo helping, you have Kyle Lowry helping, and yes, you have a shooter in the corner here, so you'd probably only want one guy stepping up, but instead, PJ Tucker does not do any of those things. PJ Tucker gets stuck on the screen, and you'll see what happens. So he's stuck right there, and as you guys know, Kevin Durant taking this elbow jump shot, that is a layup for Kevin Durant, 2 points. Here we have a clip where the Nets are actually in transition, and one of the things that I do like about the Nets is that they have a bunch of guys who are willing to share the ball, including Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But you get a drive here, Tyler Hero gets sucked into the lane, right? So we have a shooter here in the corner, Goran Dragic. You have Tyler Hero who gets dragged into the lane because he has to help on this drive. The Miami Heat have to do a much better job of stopping the ball early. You're going to get this kick to the corner, and on this closeout, you're going to get an immediate pass from Goran Dragic going to Kevin Durant on the wing. It's just good basketball. It's understanding spacing, and it's being willing to make the extra pass. You'll see you get the kick to the corner, you get the one more to Kevin Durant, and that's a wide open shot. And the fact that they're willing to make that pass makes the Brooklyn Nets pretty dangerous. Again, in watching the tape here, this is one of the few times where we actually get some sort of set, some sort of offensive play that's not simply pick and roll and letting your guys go make a play. Here, you're going to have Goran Dragic setting another pin down or down screen for Kevin Durant here. As we just talked about, Kevin Durant coming off of this screen, if you do not lock and follow, if you do not stay glued to him, it is a wide open shot. It might as well be a layup. So you can see this time PJ Tucker does do a better job of getting over the screen. And if Kevin Durant actually came off of this screen a little bit tighter here, he would have been wide open in this area again. You know, you coach your guys to come off shoulder to shoulder so that you don't have this huge gap right here. If he comes off of this tight, he's able to run right up to that elbow and get another jump shot. He leaves that separation, which allows PJ Tucker to blow up the screen by getting over the top a little bit easier. And then from here, it's nothing spectacular offensively when you're talking X's and O's, but you have a guy like Kevin Durant who's able to just go get you a bucket, and you're going to need that in the postseason. In this clip here, we get another pin down screen. Again, this is something that the Brooklyn Nets go to quite a bit, because when you have a guy like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you don't have to be super creative offensively. All you have to do is get your guy the ball in spots. Kevin Durant loves the elbow, right? This is a layup for Kevin Durant. He loves catching the ball off of pin downs in that mid-range area, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They run that pin down for him to catch the ball in this elbow area, And this time they do a really good job defending the screen, the Miami Heat. But Kevin Durant is going to still, if you get him to a spot, he's going to be able to pull up and shoot over you because he's 7 feet tall. Now, he misses this jump shot, but really for Kevin Durant, I mean, that's an open shot. As crazy as it sounds, guy in his face, but when you're 7 feet tall and your release point is that high, it's still an open shot. So as you can see, the Brooklyn Nets work really hard to get Kevin Durant the ball at the elbows because that's a spot that he feels comfortable and he's damn near automatic. On this next clip here, you actually get some really good action. Andre Drummond is going to set a screen for Kevin Durant to come off into this slot area. You're going to see when he comes off of this screen here, Kyrie Irving is going to throw it opposite to Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond setting that down screen forces Bam to help a little bit, which allows him to get open in that slot area. And then you get this nice little pin down action from Kyrie Irving for Kevin Durant. Pin down, pin down. All we keep hearing is pin down. It's something that the Brooklyn Nets love to go to because when you have guys like Kai and KD, it's very effective. The Miami Heat actually do a pretty good job of defending this. They switch on the screens. Bam Adebayo is very versatile, and he's actually not a bad guy to have cover Kevin Durant because of his length and his athleticism. I wouldn't want Bam covering him every possession, but he can do it from time to time. And this is what makes the Brooklyn Nets so dangerous. They don't run a lot of great stuff, but you got Kyrie Irving, and I mean, Kyrie Irving is going to make shots more often than he doesn't. This clip here, we get kind of late in the action, but again, you get another down screen from Andre Drummond for Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is going to come off of this screen. He does a really good job of limiting the space for the defender to blow it up. He's going to stay nice and tight coming off of this down screen, and he gets a pretty decent look from 3. For Kyrie Irving, that's a wide open shot. He doesn't hit this one. Kyrie Irving didn't shoot the ball well at all this night, but as you can see, he's getting open shots, and the way they're getting them is off those down screens. Part of what makes the Brooklyn Nets so dangerous is they don't need to run a whole bunch of sets. I mean, take a look at this possession here. Kyrie Irving just dribbles into a triple team, but his handle is so tight. He keeps his composure. He's able to get his head up, and he actually has James Johnson wide open. For whatever reason, decides not to give it up because he knows I'm a bad man and I can go get a bucket. Gets back into the lane and one. I actually really like this set here that the Brooklyn Nets run on this possession. Dragic is going to throw it to Kyrie Irving in the slot area, and he's going to come off of this for a little dribble handoff. Kyrie's going to hand off the ball back to Dragic, and then Andre Drummond is actually setting what's called a flare screen at the top of the key, where Kyrie Irving is going to float to the opposite wing, and you're going to get a pass over the top for a wide open shot to Kyrie. I actually really like this, and it's something that, you know, they should do more of, really, to not only get open shots, but you'll see that when Kyrie Irving comes off of this screen, he actually also has a lane that he can drive, because if Bam Adebayo decides to step up and help, he's going to have Andre Drummond running right down the lane for a layup, or he'll have the skip pass over to the corner if Kyle Lowry decides to take away the role. So this is a really nice action that gives Kyrie Irving a lot of options. In this case, he's going to pull up, somewhat contested, but Kyrie's a bad man. I think something that really makes the Brooklyn Nets dangerous is the addition of Seth Curry. As a Sixers fan, he was the guy I was really, kind of sad to see go in that James Harden trade. We're going to get another pin down screen. Andre Drummond screening Kyle Lowry to get Kyrie Irving the ball at the top of the key. And then you're going to get a little pick and roll with Andre Drummond. You can see the way they defend this pick and roll. Kyle Lowry is going to go over the top of the screen, preventing Kyrie from pulling up. And Bam, usually the big is in more drop coverage, but Bam is so athletic, he's able to stay up and keep Kyrie Irving in front of him a little bit. But you'll see Kyrie Irving is so good with the ball, he's able to actually split the double team. Bam comes up a little too aggressively, allowing Kyrie Irving to split. And you'll see that draws Duncan Robinson. Now, in a lot of my breakdowns, I've been telling you guys how in the NBA, they value these corner threes. And truthfully, Duncan Robinson sliding all the way into the paint and PJ Tucker sliding all the way in the paint. Kyrie really has his pick. He can either throw it to Brown in the corner for 3, or he can throw it to Seth in the corner for 3. Now, Kyrie Irving is a very high IQ player. He knows between Brown and Curry, who do I want to throw the ball to? I'm going to throw the ball to Seth Curry in the corner 100 times out of 100. Kyrie Irving is able to make this pass. Duncan Robinson is late on the closeout. A little space is too much space for Curry. Something that I think Seth Curry is actually underrated for is his ability to create his own shot and knock down pull-ups. So you're going to see here that Curry actually is going to go pick and roll, and Kyle Lowry is going to jump the screen, forcing him to go the other way, right? He's not letting Seth Curry defend the screen. Typically, as we've talked about, he'll go over the top. He'll use his guy to help. But Lowry, he kind of jumps over the screen. He's shading it. And this allows Curry to reject it and drive left. Kyle Lowry probably shouldn't have jumped over the screen there, because you can see his help is actually on the opposite side of that screen. Usually when a defender decides to reject or force the ball handler to reject the screen, it's a situation where they're icing it, and Tyler Hero would actually be on this side of the ball, but that's not where Tyler Hero is. So I'm not really sure why Kyle Lowry got so aggressively over the top of that screen. Maybe it was a miscommunication. It happens. But then Seth Curry is able to just elevate from the elbow and knock down a contested shot. Seth Curry is an X factor for this Brooklyn Nets team. When it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, you're not overly concerned with all of the weapons that they have, but you are highly concerned about the two. They got two of the most dynamic scorers in the league, guys that on any given night can give you 50, guys that could literally average 35 for a series. And that is the biggest threat that the Brooklyn Nets offer. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, as a coach, I don't look at the Brooklyn Nets as a team that is difficult to defend. I look at the Brooklyn Nets as a team that Kyrie and KD are going to get theirs. We have to make sure everybody else is limited. You're not going to keep Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving from scoring 30 a night in the postseason unless they just have an off night. What you have to do is you have to make sure guys like Patty Mills and Seth Curry don't give you another 25. You got to make sure guys like Dragic don't have a 25-point game. You got to try to limit the other guys and just try to make it as difficult as you can on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. This film breakdown was not as in-depth as previous film breakdowns. It's not because I didn't give it the same time. It's just that the Brooklyn Nets don't have an offense quite like the 76ers, and they don't have an offense nowhere near the Boston Celtics when it comes to X's and O's. They are a dangerous team, but I don't think they're the most dangerous team. I just think they have the two most dangerous players in the Eastern Conference. If you guys like the video, of course, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think the Brooklyn Nets are as dangerous as everybody thinks? Or are you a little less worried about them, kind of like I am? Sound off in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. The Sixers Break Room. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.